Today marks 23 years since the September 11th, 2001 terror attacks that forever changed New York City, the United States, and the world. Nearly 3,000 people were killed when al-Qaeda hijackers crashed 4 jetliners into the Twin Towers, the Pentagon, and a field in southwest Pennsylvania. On this day every morning for the past 23 years, families who lost loved ones in the worst terror attack on American soil make the solemn trek to observe these 6 moments of silence, hear the reading of the names, and fulfill a sacred promise to never forget. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump were both in attendance at 9/11 observances today. Politicians have been the only observers at Ground Zero, with the microphone going to relatives who read victims' names aloud.
Abul K. Chowdhury,
Mohammed Salahuddin Chowdhury,
Kirsten Lael Christoph,
Pamela Chu,
Stephen Paul Chuknik,
Wei Ching Chung,
Christopher Chiafardini,
Alex F. Ciccone,
Francis Ann Salente,
Elaine Silo,
Edna Cintrone,
Nestor Andre Cintron III,
Robert D. Siri Sr.,
Juan Pablo Cisneros,
Benjamin Keith Clark,
Eugene Clark,
and my father, FDNY Battalion Chief Oreo Joseph Palmer. A month from today, I'm getting married, and I'll be saving a seat for you and for Mom. Dana, Keith, and I are so proud to be your children.
and my uncle, Salvatore F. Pepe. Sal, the entire family misses you. I hope you see how well your son, little Sal, has turned out. Kathy has done an amazing job. We miss you. We'd love to have you around. We know and that you're looking out for us. So thank you for being our guardian angel.
But Americans are not the only ones remembering what happened 23 years ago. 24 Canadians were killed on 9/11, and thousands of airline passengers were diverted to Canadian airports. Former Federal Defense Minister Peter MacKay joined us to explain the impact 9/11 has had on the world.
I was in Edmonton and at a political event. We were in a hotel, and I remember getting up early because of the time difference. I was going to the gym, and I turned on the television just to take a look at the news, and there it was. You know, the first plane had hit the Twin Towers. And I just remember, you know, this sort of surreal feeling that washed over me, like everyone, you know, and it almost went through my mind, is this a movie or is this real? And then in real time, the second plane, and, you know, the sheer shock and horror of that moment will stay with me, as I'm sure it did everyone from that moment forward. Oh, I think it was one of those historic pivot points where so much changed. People's perception of other countries, of other cultures, the economic impact, the war on terror that followed. I think we're still, quite frankly, feeling the effects of 9/11, quite frankly, unlike any other event in my lifetime. Much like my parents, your parents' generation, our grandparents would look at events that happened, you know, during the First and Second World War, Korea, Vietnam. This unleashed consequences in so many different directions for so many different people. As I said, economic, political, militarily. And, you know, the lessons learned, the hard lessons learned around security and sharing of information, the prosecution of individuals and anti-terrorism legislation, including bills that went through the Canadian Parliament in the aftermath of 9/11. I mean, let's not forget the immediate impact. Our border closed, the skies over North America, so that coordinating of security efforts among, let's call them partner nations or allies, there were just enormous knock-on effects that I believe are still being felt.
It cannot be understated the impact 9/11 had on the world. Those who lost their lives during 9/11 will never be forgotten, and many remembered as heroes for the bravery they showed 23 years ago. It takes one person's bravery to inspire an entire generation. And with all the conflict, fear, and uncertainty in the world right now, courage and kindness is all we need. I'm Theresa. Good night, Canada.